to say BC39. We were off in 2020. And for a lot of us here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, outside of the day 242 days from now, the 108th on the 8500, this is our second most favorite day of the year. When you all come in here and we activate a track that sits sleepy, like the 8500 did for so many years, all year long, except for the Driven to Save BC39. So thank you so much. I know a lot of you have come from a long way. Thank you so much for exploring this new format with us. I think it'll be interesting to see how that progresses, how it is. I look forward to feedback on this bridge, and the rest will look forward to feedback as well as we start thinking about what does the 2024 version of this event look like. But we're really, really excited to have you here. You know, a lot of racing has taken place here since 1909. So much of the people that ran here started on the short tracks around this country and trying to get to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And for whatever reason, a couple of decades ago, that sort of ladder changed. So many of us here at the Speedway are so passionate about short track. When we're not here, we're following you guys either on flow or at the racetrack itself, sitting in the grandstands with fans. And when we started talking about what to do to celebrate Tony Stewart's retirement, building a fake dirt track here was kind of the plan. Tim and I had a conversation with Susie Elliott and others. Let's use that as an opportunity to build a real proper racetrack here and figure out a way to connect the Indianapolis Motor Speedway again to short track across the country. And out of that test for Tony Stewart, the BC39 was born. And it's pretty amazing to me that we get a chance to celebrate Brian Clausen every year. So as you guys are running this week, I know it's important to win. It's important to start up front. It's important to beat your competitors. I just want to remind everybody the reason we really are here is to celebrate the legacy that was and still is Brian Clausen. And that legacy was the competitors that all you are. There was nobody tougher on the racetrack. But there was also nobody that was more fair on the racetrack and then had time for fans and people out of the race car. So much so that he was an organ donor. If you're not an organ donor and you're racing in this race, you should probably go home. You should all be an organ donor because that's what Brian Clausen wants us to do. His family didn't even know he was an organ donor. And if you were here a few years ago, Brian's heart was here, Brian's lungs were here, inside somebody else. We all have an opportunity to make a difference. And Taylor has dedicated her life since Brian's passing to making sure we get that message out. All of you are those advocates that can help us tell that message. And there's two ways we can continue to live Brian's legacy and continue it. One of them is being an organ donor, and the other one is acting and driving and living the way Brian did, not just on the track as a fierce competitor, but off the track as a great friend to so many and making sure that he was taking care of folks. So most important out of this weekend I want us to know that Brian's looking at us and giving us all a thumbs up. He's really proud of the way we race each other, the way we put on an event, and the way we're making a difference outside of the race car. So that's the biggest challenge. I hope you all have a blast. I'm really excited about watching. I'm not planning on going home between now and Saturday night, so I'll be staying here with all of you guys, as those of you that are staying here, as we have a lot of fun. So thank you again for being here. Roger will be here Saturday night. He grew up as a short track fan at a place called Sportsman Park outside of Shaker Heights, Ohio, and tells the story all the time of as a 14-year-old trying to sneak in and going home covered in dirt. When he had an opportunity to see this race for the first time, 21, we were a little nervous. We weren't sure how Roger was going to love it. He came in for the Suits Pursuit. He went to Iowa the next day to make an announcement that IndyCar would be running at Iowa in a doubleheader, and we thought that was all we were going to see. And we learned he was coming back because during the press conference, after he talked about Iowa, he couldn't stop talking about the Driven to Save BC39 and the unbelievable talent he'd seen the night before, and he couldn't wait to come back and see that talent again. He stood the whole night on Cindy Elliott's trailer, actually watching the race. He can't wait to come back, so we'll see him Saturday night. Hopefully he'll be part of the opening ceremonies. If you see him, he may come up and ask you questions. He's going to want an honest opinion. How's the experience? What can we do better? What did you like? Just feel free to talk to him. He is a race fan through and through. His favorite place to be is at the racetrack, and he loves to talk to people. So if he comes up to you, be prepared to answer some questions, because that's what he's all about. With that, I'm going to turn it over to the two most important people in the room, Taylor and Tim Clausen.
Hello. My name is Taylor, and my official title is Marketing Program Specialist for Indiana Donor Network and Driven to Save Lives, but I also hold the title of Brian's sister. I wanted to take a second on behalf of everybody at Indiana Donor Network and Driven to Save Lives to thank all of you drivers here for showing up for this event. When we started this in 2018, I had no idea what to expect. I remember Brian attending they called it, with Tony Stewart, and talking about how much fun he had. And that day he was the adult in the room, and they decided not to have an actual race, which is the first and only time I ever saw Brian be the adult in the room. But to see what that day has grown into is absolutely incredible. I know we have a few of our past champions here, so to you guys, thank you for not only representing this race well, but also representing Brian so well. The racing every single year has been incredible, and I'm so proud that we've been able to grow this event into now a 4-day marquee event within the sport of racing. And so thank you to all of you for being involved. To those of you who haven't been with us and this is your first event, thank you for coming out. Thank you for getting to experience this with us and sharing the stage, the biggest stage in motorsports, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway with us. And so I'm just really excited for all of you to be here. This event it started about the racing and about bringing dirt track racing to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. But what it has since grown into is a place for race fans, racers, teams, car owners to celebrate not only Brian's legacy, but other people's legacy through organ donation. And so I want to thank all of you for just participating in this and representing our sport so well and sharing those experiences with race fans. We've now been able to sign up over 8,000 race fans to save lives. That's a huge number that could save over half of the national transplant waiting list. So thank you all for being here and representing not only yourselves and the dirt track racing community, but also Brian and our family so well. And I can't wait to put that winner's wreath around somebody's neck on Saturday and see who gets to be crowned the next BC39 champion. So thank you.
Thank you, Taylor. I'm Tim Clausen, Brian's father, former car owner of midgets at this race. I've been asked a lot here recently, especially why we weren't fielding cars this year. And it really, as I look back on it, Doug had talked to me since really day one about me getting to enjoy the moment. And since we ran those first laps in 2016 with the Tony stunt, I can remember Brian on the way home. We had just come off a really long trip. He had gone someplace to get fitted for a race car, for a sprint car. I was over going racing for a while, and I remember getting a phone call from him about 10 a.m. in the morning. We were coming here, and I was praying. He was saying that he got stuck and we weren't going to be able to make it. And I kind of said, "Hey, you're not making it?" And he goes, "Oh no, we're going." And that day turned out to be one of the most special days I've ever spent at a racetrack. And it was just a bunch of buddies out running circles in the dirt. And as we left, a moment that I remember from that day was Doug and Brian walking out towards turn 3. And, you could see by their hand gesturing that they were planning on where maybe we could put a dirt track. That was probably the first special moment that this place and this race brought to me. But it really came to fruition last year. I was knee-deep and elbows deep in race cars and arguing with my drivers. And I looked up at the screen and a young lady that just won a heat race or a qualifier was talking about a race. And then she stopped. And she said, we all have to remember the reason we're doing it and why we're here. And it was kind of that moment where I was like, man, I'm missing some pretty special moments out here with what you all are doing. And I pretty much made the decision then that was going to be my last time fielding a car here. And if nothing else, I was going to go hang out with them. So I'm getting to do that. I can't thank you all enough from our family for what you all put into this race. It's not lost on us. A lot of you are coming off a big Eldora weekend and what that does to race cars and motors and drivers and owners and crews. Yet here we are with 72 cars. There's people from all over the country here making trips from California, Texas, North Carolina, Pennsylvania. For y'all to want to be here to help, not only race at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, but then to also celebrate what Brian meant to this sport and what he continues to do to this sport is absolutely incredible. So for myself, my wife Diana, and Taylor, as a family, truly means the world. And I'm really looking forward to get to coming over and visit with everybody this week, and especially the car owners and the sacrifices that y'all are making, having some real conversations. So thank you very much. With that, something that we started from the very first event is we created a challenge coin, and then every year after that, the challenge coin celebrated the year before's winner. Brady Bacon won the first one. Great race car driver and such an ambassador to the sport. The second year, Zeb Wise won it, which really hit home for us. Not only was it our team, but it was the last kid that Brian pointed to and said, that's the type of kid we need driving for us. Then of course Kyle Larson came and did Kyle Larson things. But to get to visit with Kyle afterwards and just see in his eyes what that race meant to him was pretty incredible. And then last year we got to see Buddy Kofoid win. And so this year's challenge coin celebrates Buddy's win, and we'd like to invite Buddy up here right now to get the very first challenge coin. When Kurt's done with his piece, as you guys leave, my wife Diane will be back here, and Taylor will be with your challenge coins that we have for all the drivers, as well as owners. So with that, I'm going to turn the mic over to Buddy real quick. We're going to present him with his coin, and here you go, Buddy. And then we're going to let him share a few words about last year's experience. So.
Yeah, it was a hell of a race. Probably, I think I said it last year, it was one of the best races I think I've been a part of. And, it's a lot of fun. And winning here is kind of one of those, I would say, a life-changing experience. Even though it's not on the big track, it's still here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And, to me, one of the coolest, most historical places, in the world, and we get to have it here right in Indiana. So, made me really proud to win that and to do it the way we did it, and to obviously honor Brian and his family and everyone I've driven to save is a massive effort to put this on. So, yeah, it's a lot of fun to win it, and unfortunately I won't be here Friday, Saturday, but still proud to be here racing again. Good luck to everyone this weekend.
Hey, I have a question for you. This is fun. So those challenge coins are one of the really cool traditions. So you're going to get to see that and see everybody else carry those around. But the other cool tradition that we picked up on that we do for the Indy 500, have you had a chance to see your face on the pagoda?
I actually didn't. I didn't know I was even on there.
So if you win the Driven to Save BC39 alongside our Indy 500 winner and those that win NASCAR, so before you leave, you need to go to the backside of the pagoda. You've been up there all year. So whoever wins the race Saturday night, their face will be on the backside of the pagoda for all our fans to see until the next Driven to Save BC39. So you've been up there all year. It's a really, really cool thing that we've done because this is, we consider this one of our marquee events every year. And so I'm sorry you haven't seen it. You got to go check it out. It's pretty cool.
No, this is the first I've heard of it, so I'll have to look and yeah, that's super special too to have your face almost cemented in history here. So yeah, I'm gonna look at that. So that's pretty damn cool, and it's cool to see everyone here. I'm happy to be back, even if it's just for 2 days.
Thank you, everybody. I'll just jump into a few of our notes for today. We did make it quite a bit simpler with the format change. I just want to thank everybody for being supportive of that and going through this with us. And hopefully it's a positive change for you all to be able to get on track 3 days out of 4 and be able to get you an extra feature on this week too. So thank you for everything with your parking, and I'll extend that into a thank you in advance for your conduct the rest of the week and representing all of us really well out here. There's a lot of responsibility that comes with an event like this and a place like this, so I just want to thank you all in advance for holding that up for us and respecting this place the way we do. For tonight, it's actually really simple, and we'll have drivers meetings the rest of this week that kind of go over some of the format details for your prelim nights. But tonight is pretty simple, and we want to make it a little bit more relaxed for you guys tonight, just to get on the racetrack, get some laps, and then have a fun race at the end of the night for everybody. When we leave here, we'll have transponders ready. We also have your hot lap groups ready at our trailer there at the BC Command Center. We did put you into hot lap groups. That's the one thing that you guys will have to pay attention to. We put you into hot lap groups based on your Thursday and Friday night rosters right now. Thursday night cars will hot lap first in groups. Friday night cars will hot lap second. We'll get a track work, and then we'll go do the same order, but Friday night cars first, and then Thursday night cars. So it flips it around, so you kind of vary what track conditions you see a little bit. We'll be dependent on Reese for some quick track work there in between to get you guys back to where you need to be, but I have faith that we'll be in really good shape there. So transponders back in our trailer. I'll have a little bit of other info for a few of you as well when you stop by, and we do have those hot lap groups there. We also have our receiver frequency posted there, channel 1165. I know that's different for a few of you that haven't raced with us. Frequency 464-5500. You're welcome to our trailer at any time. If you have radio issues, questions, concerns, please feel free to stop by. I have a really good staff of people there who are always willing to help. And even on the racetrack, if you have an issue and you stop with one of our officials, they'll get the radio right off their head if you have issues with yours. So they've got batteries. They've usually got the answer to your problems when you're on the racetrack, but we want you to have everything you need while you're out there. So depend on our people when you can. We do have fuel at our trailer as well for anybody who needs it. We have an oil dump there as well when you get back there. We will open up engine heat at 5 o'clock. The same way we've been doing it, we'll go to the other end through the far pit area and come out through the guardrail. You're going to push on the paved road back this direction, straight back to your trailers. Again, when we get to the racetrack, we want everybody to be ready. We know that it's running, so if you need to fire off a couple times, you're welcome to. But we'll get through everybody there at 5 o'clock with our engine heat. We do our run national rules this whole week. We'll upload those tonight as well. I did want to mention to everybody that we are on SD3 regular tire rule this week, but we won't be stamping tires. Those of you that need to mix and match through the week to get through the used stuff, whatever you might need. As long as it's an SD3 on the right rear, it's good to go. And that includes tonight. We're on SD3 all night tonight. We'll check your tire in when you go out for hot laps, since hot laps do matter a little bit tonight, to make sure you're on the right tire. As I said about responsibility, the big one of those is your pit vehicles. We use those to get cars to the racetrack and the pit area only. And please be responsible when you're back there. They're going to stop you at those gates. But we do reserve the right to park any one of you if we have an issue with it. You guys probably heard our siren, which is already a minute more. I think we basically made it 10 today since we thought it might take you a little bit to go here. We run an 8-minute horn for every event, and we'll do that again tonight to start each round of hot laps. And then again for the pursuit race, 8 minutes to be staging on that. There's only there's no real repercussions tonight, but it is a good way to get you all in line and know what you're listening for when we get to tomorrow. So for our race stuff tonight, hot lap with your group only. If you have an issue tonight, we won't let you go one group later. You can come back in the next round if you need to, but with a little bit on the line, you have a hot lap in your group. We'll go 3 to 4 laps in every group. Again, tonight to qualify for the pursuit race, our top 10 points with USAC are already locked in. I believe maybe we have one who won't be able to run tonight. So that would open up another spot for the next fastest to get us to 20. And then we'll have 4 spots added on to that at the back for tonight's pursuit race.